Alright, today we're going to go over the review worksheet 2.3, 2.4. I'm assuming it's going to take more than one video. And it's going to start at number 1 and see how far we go. Alright, number 1, really simple. There's a plus sign in between the parentheses, so you don't multiply. All you're going to do is combine like terms. So 3x squared goes to 7x squared. That's 10x squared. Minus 5 goes with minus 3. Becomes minus 8. That's it. Alright, number 2. Because there's a minus sign in the middle, I'm going to distribute the minus sign. So I get minus 4y squared plus 5y minus 3. I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 4y squared and negative 4y squared, they cancel each other out. 9y and 5y is 14y. Cross them out so I know I already used them. Minus 5, minus 3, minus 8. 14y minus 8 is your final answer. Alright, number 3, because there's a plus sign, nothing changes, and there are no like terms. So the only thing you can really do is just write this without the parentheses. So my final answer is 3s squared plus s plus 4y squared minus 5y plus 3. And that's it. That's it for number 3. Alright, number 4. Once again, because of the plus signs there, you just combine like terms. So combine like terms. 5c squared, or 2c cubed is the highest, so I write that first. There are another 2c cubes. Then I put 5c squared. There are another 5c squared, so I just write 5c squared. I put the c's together. I get plus c. And then I do plus 1 and plus 8. That's plus 9. And that's it. That's it for number 4. Alright, I'm going to distribute the negative sign. So you must distribute the negative sign first. So this becomes negative 9b cubed minus 4b to the 4th plus 7. Now I combine like terms. 2b to the 4th minus 4b to the 4th is minus 2b to the 4th. Cross it off. Cubes, I have minus 6b cubed minus 9b cubed. That's minus 15b cubed. Cross them off. I end up with 5b. There are no other b's, so I just put plus 5b. Cross it off. And now 7. And that's it. Alright, number 6. Once again, there's a plus sign in the middle, so I'm just going to combine like terms. So I do x to the 4th with x to the 4th, so I get 2x to the 4th. Cross them off. X cubed, there are no other x cubed, so it's minus x cubed. X squared minus x squared, they cancel each other out, so it's then plus 1. That's it for number 6. This is the distributive property, or the pizza delivery guy. 5x squared can drop off pizza at 6x's and 2's house. I'm going to have 30x cubed plus 10x squared. Done. 8. I'm going to have 3z plus 1. 3z minus 1. You can either take a FOIL or distributive property twice. So 3z goes to everything. It's going to give me 9z squared minus 3z. Now 1 goes to everything, so I get plus 3z minus 1. So my answer becomes 9z squared minus 1. That's it. So I'm going to use the distributive property again. So 2a is going to go to everything. So I'm going to become 2a cubed minus 20a squared minus 4a. Now, negative 3 is going to go to everything. I'm going to get minus 3a squared plus 30a plus 6. I come up with my like terms. I end up with 2a cubed minus 23a squared plus 26a plus 6. Done. That's it for 9. Alright, number 10, I'm going to have pizza delivery guy 3 times. So distributive property. Three times. So negative x squared is going to go to everything. So I'm going to get minus x to the 4th plus 8x cubed and then minus 3x squared. Now I'm going to have negative, or 4x is going to go to everything. So I'm going to get 4x times x squared. That's 4x cubed. 4 times negative 8 is minus 32x squared. Then 4x times 3 is plus 12x. Now we're not done yet, because now 1's got to go to everything. So I get x squared minus 8x plus 3. Now notice I have everything all lined up. It's going to make it really easy when I go to finish this. So now I have negative x to the fourth plus 12x cubed minus 34x squared plus 4x plus 3. And that's it for number 10. Number 11 is going to be an accuracy problem. So if you're trying to get more points on this review worksheet after it's due, number 11 is going to have to be done correctly. It's going to be done just like number 10. Use number 10 if lost. Alright, number 12, you're going to pick the first two. So pick 2 first. I FOIL it. I get x squared minus 7x plus x minus 7. And this becomes x squared minus 6x minus 7. I take x plus 3, and I put it right there in front. Now I have two pieces of litter, guys. X is going to go to everything. So I'm with x cubed minus 6x squared minus 7x. Now 3 is going to go to everything. So I'm going to get 3x squared minus 18x minus 21. So then I end up with my final answer, x cubed minus 3x squared minus 25x minus 21. That's it for 12. Alright, I'm going to pick the first two. So I'm going to pick 2 first, again. It doesn't matter which 2 you pick, I always just pick the first 2. So then a goes to everything, negative 6 goes to everything. I get 2a squared plus 5a minus 12a minus 30. So this turns into 2a squared minus 7a minus 30. Now the a plus 1 drops in front. You can put it behind too, but I just like having less pieces over here, guys. Now a goes to everything. So I end up with 2a cubed minus 7a squared minus 30a. Now 1's going to go to everything. So I end up with 2a squared minus 7a minus 30. Now I get to combine my like terms. I end up with 2a cubed minus 5a squared minus 37a minus 30. That's your final answer for 13. Once again, I'm going to pick 2 first. So I'm going to just FOIL this out. I'm going to get minus 27q squared. I'm going to get plus 6q plus 72q minus 16. Come on, like terms. I end up with minus 27q squared plus 78q minus 16. I drop down my q minus 2 in front. Q goes to everything. I end up with minus 27q cubed plus 78q squared minus 16q. Now, negative 2 goes to everything. So I get plus 54q squared. I get minus 156q. I get plus 32. Combine my like terms. I get minus 27 q cubed. 78 and 54 is plus 132 q squared. Minus 16 minus 56 is minus 172 q plus 32. And that's it for 14. Once again, I'm going to pick 2 to start. I'm just going to FOIL out our distributive properties. So w goes to both to give me 4w squared minus w minus 24w plus 6. Combine the terms in the middle. So this becomes 4w squared minus 25w plus 6, and then minus 3w plus 5 goes in front. Now negative 3w goes to everything, so I end up with minus 12w cubed plus 75w squared minus 18w. Now 5 goes to everything, so I get 20w squared minus 125w plus 30. Now I combine my like terms. I end up with minus 12w cubed plus 95w squared minus 143w plus 30. Here's my final answer. And that's it for 15. 16, I have w minus 9 squared. Remember, I'm going to rewrite that as w minus 9, w minus 9. I'm just going to use distributive properties. So I get w squared minus 18w plus 81. 17, I have 2c plus 5 squared. Remember, I'm going to write that as 2c plus 5. 2c plus 5. And now I'm going to use distributive property. So 2c goes to both. I end up with 4c squared plus 10c. Then goes to both again, so I get plus 10c plus 25. So my final answer becomes 4c squared plus 20c plus 25. Number 18, I have 3t minus 4 cubed. You can, if you're going to use the distributive property, you're going to write it as 3t minus 4 3 times. And then you're going to do it like numbers 12 through 15. Or, I'm going to use Pascal's triangle. So because it's the third power, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to say a cubed plus 3a squared minus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared minus b cubed. It's opposite signs because of the minus in the middle. That's why there's a plus, there's a minus there. It goes alternating, positive, negative, positive, negative. This is your a. That is your b. So I'm just going to plug it in. Wherever I see a, I'm going to put 3t. Wherever I see a b, I'm going to put 4. Now I don't have to put negative 4 in because I'm already using the signs are already alternating. I put the signs in. So I end up with, I have to cube both of them. I get 27t cubed. 3 times 3, or I have to square 3 first to get 9 times negative 3 is negative 27 times 4 is minus 108 t squared. 3 times 3 is 9. I got 4 squared is 16 times 3 is 48 times 3 is becomes 144 t. Then it's minus 4 cubed is 64. So that's your answer. Like I said, you could write it out 3 times if you want. So number 19, you could write it as y plus 4, y plus 4, y plus 4, or I'm going to use Pascal's triangle. So I'm going to write it, I'm going to use a cubed plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b cubed. Remember, it's all positive because there's a positive in the middle there. So wherever I see an a, I put y. Wherever I see a b, I put 4. So I write y cubed plus 3y squared. Instead of b, I put 4. Plus 3y instead of b, I put 4. Plus instead of b, I put 4. Now I just have to simplify it. So my best answer is y cubed. 4 times 3 is 12, so it's plus 12y squared. 4 squared times 3. 4 squared is 16 times 3 is 48y plus 64. And that's it for 19. If you did multiply it out 3 times, you should have got the same answer. Alright, for the second half of this paper, we're going to be using the factoring GPS, so if you're not sure what to do, you just look at the GPS. Alright, so they have something in common. So I take out that common x, and then 7 goes into both, so I put 7x outside. I divide to get the inside, so I get 2x minus 3. That's my answer. This is not a solve problem, so do not solve since there is no equal sign. So right away there's something in common. So we take the c out. I'm left with c squared plus 9c plus 18. You got 3 terms on the inside. You're going to use a trinomial method. So you're going to say, how do I get c squared? C and c. How do I get 18? You can get 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. 3 and 6 adds to 9 to be in the middle. So we get c plus 3, c plus 6. And that's it for 21. For 22, it's 3y to the 5th minus 48y cubed. They have a common 3y cubed, as in 3 goes into both, and they both have 3y, so I'm going to put 3y cubed outside. I'm left with y squared minus 16. Now, inside the parentheses, I have perfect squares. So I'm going to write 3y cubed, and this is going to break down into y plus 4, y minus 4. Alright, and that's it for 22. Alright, so for 23 through 28, I'm going to be using that for 23 through 28. Alright? So I have to know right away from 23 that 4 cubed is 64. I'm using perfect cubes. So I have y cubed minus 4 cubed. So I'm using this formula. A cubed minus b cubed equals a minus b in parentheses, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So I'm going to rewrite it as y minus 4, because those are the bases. I square y. I add the product of the two, plus 4y. I square b, which is 4, so I have plus 16. Done. That's it. So right away I have to know that that 8 cubed is 512. So I'm going to rewrite this as x cubed plus 8 cubed. Now I'm going to use my formula, a cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b, then a squared minus ab plus b squared. So my answer is going to be x plus 8, and then x squared minus 8x plus 64. And that's it for 24. So for 25, I have to know that 125 is 5 cubed, and that 6 cubed is 216. I also have to know that I'm using the formula a cubed plus b cubed, just like I did before. Now it's important to notice that I have to rewrite this as 5 cubed m cubed. And now I have to have one little 3, so I'm going to rewrite that as 5m cubed plus 6 cubed. So that's my a, and that's my b. So I'm going to use my formula. I'm going to 5m plus 6. I put 5m and I square it, so I have 5m squared, which means I have to square both of those, so I get 25m squared minus, I put minus 5m times 6, so I'm going to get minus 30m, and then I have to have 6 squared, which is plus 36. And that's why my final answer is these two sets of parentheses right here for 25. Alright, 26, I have 8c cubed plus 343, so once again, I have to know that 2 cubed is 8, and then 343, 7 cubed is 343. So, I'm going to rewrite this as 2 cubed, c cubed, plus 7 cubed. They both have little 3's, so I'm going to write that as 2c in parentheses cubed plus 7 cubed. So that means I'm going to use this shortcut, a cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b in parentheses a squared minus ab plus b squared in the other set of parentheses. So I have 2 4c plus 7. Now remember, I'm going to have 2c squared, so I have to square the 2 and the c to get 4c squared, minus 2c times 7, that's why it's minus 14c, and then it's plus 7 squared, which is plus 49. That's my answer right there for 26. So 27, 384, not perfect. 6, also not perfect. So I gotta hope there's something in common. Luckily, there's a 6 that goes into both. And this becomes 64w cubed minus 1. Now 64 is 4 cubed, and 1 is 1 cubed. So I get to write this as 6. Instead of 64, I put 4 cubed. Now I get to write it as 6. Instead of 4 cubed w cubed, I write 4w in parentheses cubed minus 1 cubed. So there's my a, and there's my b. Remember, I'm using this formula, a cubed minus b cubed. So I have a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So my final answer is 6 because it's outside. It's going to stay there. Then I put 4w minus 1. Now I have to do 4w squared. So I have 4w, but I'm going to square it. So I'm going to get 16w squared plus 4w plus 1. And that's my answer for 27. Once again, in 28, negative 5 and 320, not perfect. So I better hope there's something in common first. I'm going to take out the negative 5. That's going to give me z cubed minus 64. Now it's a minus because I took out the negative sign. So I'm going to use a cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b in parentheses, a squared minus ab plus b squared. Now remember, 64 is 4 cubed, so I'm going to take that and make it 4 cubed. So I have negative 5, z minus, oh, it's supposed to be a minus in the middle. So that's minus, that makes that minus, that makes that plus. So it's z minus 4, z squared minus 4z plus 16. It's plus in the middle there too. And that's it for 28. Notice, guys, I already know that since there's a minus right here, it's a minus in the first set, and then it's all positive in the next one. Alright, 29 and 30 are going to be factored by grouping. And actually 29 through 32. So 29 through 32 are factored by grouping. So I got 4 terms. So I have to do grouping. We're doing that to make matching parentheses. So I look at the first two. They both have a y squared in common. I take it out. I'm left with y minus 7. I take out the 4. It leaves me with y minus 7. The parentheses match. I take those parentheses. I write it once. Then I write whatever's left over again. Done. Y squared plus 4 cannot be broken down anymore because there's a positive sign in the middle. If that was y squared minus 4, I would go further. Once again, I'm going to factor by grouping. I like the first two. I pull out the m squared. I'm left with 3m minus 1. I pull out the 3. Gives me 3m minus 1. The parentheses match. So I'm left with 3m minus 1. And then whatever's left over is m squared plus 3. Once again, that can't be broken down anymore. So that's my final answer. Alright, so once again, I'm factored by grouping. I look at the first two. I take out a 4 and c squared. That leaves me with c plus 2. I take out the minus 9. Leaves me with c plus 2. They match. So I have c plus 2. I have 4c squared, which is perfect. Minus 9, which is perfect. So I have perfect squares with subtraction. So I end up with c plus 2, 2c plus 3, 2c minus 3. I add the square roots, subtract the square roots. And that's it for 31. Alright, so 32, I have 2x cubed minus 6x squared minus 32x plus 96. Look at the first two, I take out 2x squared. I'm left with x minus 3. I take out the minus 32. I'm left with x minus 3. I have like terms, so I have x minus 3. Cancel them out. I'm left with 2x squared minus 32. Something in common in that second set. So I take out the 2. So I put the 2 out front. This becomes x squared minus 16. Now that's perfect squares with subtraction. So your final answer is 2x minus 3, x plus 4, x minus 4. And that's my final answer for number 32. Now, number 33, 34, and 35 are all going to be using this one here. So this is 33 to 35. Remember, it has to begin with an even exponent, end with no exponent, and if there's a middle, the exponent must be half of the first. So I look at 32, or 33. It's x to the 6 minus 100. It begins with an even exponent. So it begins with even exponent. It ends with no exponent. And there's no middle. So all you do is say, how do I get x to the 6? X cubed, x cubed. How do I get 100? 10 and 10, but one of them is negative. Remember, it can't have a middle. So if I put x cubed plus 10, x cubed minus 10, or think of perfect squares. Alright, and that's it. X cubed plus 10, x cubed minus 10. Alright, 34. It begins with an even exponent. It ends with no exponent. In the middle, exponent 2 is half of the first. So I say, how do I get a to the fourth? A squared and a squared. How do I get 6? 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Well, the only way to get 1 and 6 or 7 is 1 and 6. So I put a squared plus 1, a squared plus 6. And although there's squares there, none of them are perfect squares with a minus in the middle. So that's my final answer for 34. So 35. Since it's odd exponent, I have to hope something in common. And there is. They all have an x. So I take out an x. Actually, 5 goes at everything as well. Not 5. 3 goes in everything as well. So it becomes 5x to the fourth minus 24x squared minus 36. Now, it's, how do I get 5x to the fourth? 5x squared and x squared. How do I get 6? 6 and negative 6. There's a whole bunch of other options, but I'm going to check this one first. So I'll put 3x, 5x plus 6, 5x minus 6. The outside, oh, not 5x minus 6. 5x squared plus 6, x squared minus 6. I do the outside, I get minus 30x squared. I do the inside, I get plus 6x squared. Together, it's minus 24x squared. So that's it. 36, I'm going to set it equal to 0. Now I'm going to take out something in common. Perfect squares. So I have 2s, 3s plus 5, 3s minus 5. So I'm going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So I say 2s equals 0, so s equals 0 when I divide by 2. 3s plus 5 equals 0. I'm going to subtract 5 and divide by 3. I get negative 5/3. And then 3s minus 5 equals 0. So I add 5 and divide by 3. I get s equals 5/3. And that's it. You have to do the last 4 on your own.